Hi and welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost, where you get to choose your 5-minute investment. I'm your host, Sam Nix, and I'll be discussing topics under the headings of business development, marketing, photography, and much more.
Welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost. Today I'm talking about one of my things that I'm a little bit passionate about, and that is why buying local helps your business. So as small business owners, we often hear that phrase, support local, buy local. It appears on bumper stickers, social media campaigns, shopping bags and community events. But have you ever stopped to think about why buying local matters to your own business? So many people see buying local as a feel-good gesture. And in reality, it can be one of the smartest business decisions you'll ever make. And it should become part of your operating ethos. Let's see if we can source it locally first. Okay, so whether you're purchasing products, hiring a tradesperson, engaging a photographer, sourcing ingredients, working with a local graphic designer, or using a local accountant, choosing local suppliers can create benefits that extend far beyond the original transaction. Now, you've probably heard me say this before, and we all know it. Small business is really the big backbone of Australia. And it's worth understanding how important small businesses are. According to the Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman, small businesses account for 97.3%. That's right, folks, of all businesses in Australia. Think about that for a moment. So this is every cafe, retailer, service provider, consultant, tradesperson, creative business and professional service you interact with. They are small businesses. Everyone you drive past, if you go into your local town or if you go into Melbourne or if you look online. So when you support local businesses, you're supporting the very foundation of our economy. Now, local businesses understand local businesses. And I think this is one of the biggest advantages of buying local is that local businesses understand the environment that you're operating in. You know, they understand how harsh our winters are. They understand that, nearby Lake Eildon is the best place to be over the summer. So it really gets down to that local printer is going to know the community event calendar. The local accountant understands regional business challenges. The local local photographer knows the venues, the seasons, weather conditions and local audience. You spend less time explaining your market because they already understand it. And quite possibly, just between you and me, they might be part of that market. That local knowledge often will save time, reduces mistakes and delivers better outcomes. Now, you've all heard it before about the local multiplier effect. This is actually real. Economists have a term for what happens when that money circulates through a community, and it's called the local multiplier effect. So research into local economies suggests that every dollar spent with a locally owned business can generate around $1.80 in local economic activity. So when you spend that money with your local supplier, that business is paying local wages, uses local services, purchases local products and supports local organisations. Think about the local supermarket that sponsors the local footy team. See what I'm talking about? So the money keeps moving. So your decision as a business owner to use a local supplier today could actually help support another business, another family, and what we really want is to create another job tomorrow. So this is around more money staying in the community. And I think this is one of the strongest arguments for buying local is so simple. More of the money stays where you live and work and play if you do that on the weekends or after hours. Studies commonly referencing development programs suggest that for every $100 spent with a local business, approximately $68 of that remains in the local economy. By comparison, significantly less stays local when spending occurs through large external operators. And that difference can add up quickly. Imagine hundreds of businesses making dozens of purchasing decisions every month. That collective impact can be enormous. Relationships matter. Now, this is about buying local isn't just about the transactions. It's about relationships. When you build relationships with local suppliers, you create a network of people who know your business and want to see it succeed. They are often the people who refer customers to you, share your social media posts, recommend your services, introduce you to opportunities, and support you during difficult times. Business has always been about people, because we are people. Business owners are people. We're all human. And those strong relationships often generate opportunities that really no advertising campaign can buy, or realistically that you can afford. Faster service and better communication. Okay, so let's be honest. Things don't always go to plan. Sometimes orders get delayed, projects can change direction, products arrive damaged. But when you're dealing with a local supplier, solving problems is much easier. You can pick up the phone. You might be able to drop by and visit their premise. You might even know them personally. Local businesses often have a genuine interest in maintaining the relationship because why? They're part of the same community. We all live in the same regional area. And that level of service can be difficult to achieve when dealing with large national or international providers. Think about when you have dealt with a large company. You're just a number, you're just an invoice. But when you deal with a local family business, they actually remember who you are, what your name is, and potentially what your favourite footy club is. Okay, so Australians are choosing local more than ever. God, what a great statement. But consumer attitudes are changing. Research from McCrindle found that 66% of Australians say they value shopping locally more today than they did a few years ago. At the same time, studies show that more than half of Australian consumers actively prefer to locally source products and services when making purchasing decisions. Supporting local just isn't the community value anymore. It's increasingly becoming a customer expectation. Now, I've seen this firsthand. Businesses that champion local suppliers often strengthen their own reputation and credibility with customers. Think about that for a minute. Even if you are a local cafe and you put a local producer on your menu, and it can only be one or two things potentially because of seasonality and supply and demand and all of that, but you think about it. How cool would that be to show how proud you are of the local produce? Just amazing. I love businesses that do that. Anywho, small businesses create jobs. Now, local businesses do far more than sell products and services. According to economic data used in local government by local campaigns across Australia, small businesses contribute to around 42% of private sector employment and generate approximately 1/3 of Australia's economic output. That's pretty huge. Every time a local business grows, there's a potential for more local jobs, more apprenticeships, more training opportunities, and stronger communities. When we support local businesses, we're helping support local employment. Regional communities do feel the impact more. Now, this is a good one, people. For regional communities, buying local is even more important. For me, I think it is so important because we want our communities to thrive. And when money leaves a regional town, it often doesn't return. Every dollar spent locally helps support local services, sporting clubs, schools, events, charities, community groups, and volunteer organisations. And many of us have seen firsthand how local businesses step up during difficult times, whether it's drought, flood, or recent bushfires, or economic uncertainty. Local businesses are often the first to donate, sponsor, volunteer, and support their communities. And a lot of the times, they do it quietly. They do it behind the scenes. But you think about it. If those local businesses are strong, they help create strong local communities. And more importantly, they're there to sustain all of us. And it allows that community to thrive. Now, local doesn't always mean more expensive. Now, this is a great argument that I see on social media in community Facebook books all the times, and I think it's one of the biggest myths that buying locally automatically costs more. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Okay, yep, I will admit it. But you get down to brass tacks. What is the real question here? The real question is value. A cheaper supplier may come in with longer delivery times, less support, communication delays, or additional costs hidden elsewhere. And you all know this. We've all been burnt before with this. The cheapest option is not always the best option. Think about that cheap thing that you bought and it lasted 2 minutes. Yep, remember that? Anyway, many local businesses provide exceptional value through service, responsiveness, flexibility, and expertise. And you think about it, they're local, they just get it. So start with one simple question. Buying local doesn't mean every dollar must stay in your town. That's not realistic. Some products and services simply aren't available locally. But before making your next purchase, whether it's for your business or even personally, because you can have that same overflow through your business and your personal life, I need you to ask one simple question. Is there a local business that could help me with this? You might discover a new local supplier, a consultant, a creative professional, a retailer, or a tradesperson you haven't considered before. So have a think about that. Okay, so the final thought before I close this episode up. Buying local isn't charity. It's good business. It strengthens relationships, creates jobs, keeps money circulating in the community, builds resilience and supports the businesses that support us. And as business owners, we often ask our communities to support local. And one of the best ways we can do that is to encourage that behaviour by leading by example. Now, here's a final thought. The Australian Made campaign has highlighted that every Australian household spent just a little bit more with Australian businesses each week. The combined impact would be measured in billions of dollars flowing back into our economy and thousands of jobs being supported. And that's the real power of buying local, because when local businesses support local businesses, everybody wins. So until next time, have a great day. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Business Boost. For more information, follow me on socials, sign up for my newsie, or check out my website to see how we can work together to reach your small business goals. Remember, anything is possible, especially in the northeast of Victoria. Until next time, cheerio!